What's up, party people? Welcome back, my Madden Rebuild Warriors, to the realistic rebuild of the Las Vegas Raiders. If this is your first time checking out this rebuild, we got episode 1, 2, and 3. I recommend stopping this and going and starting from the beginning. But if you did watch episode 3 and you forgot, we lost for the second year in a row in the AFC Championship after going 14-3 for the second year in a row. And this time we lost to the Titans. They have been quite a bugaboo. They've been pretty good in this rebuild, so we need to get over the hump. So we got to do a lot of drafting, trading, signing, building. We need to make a God squad. Mendoza is our quarterback. We are in the coaching tree of Kyle Shanahan with Clint Kubiak. First offense was Seattle, 49ers, Miami. Those were our offensive playbooks. We stay in scheme. We have a lot of rules we have to follow. I mean, quotes around a lot of rules. But anyway, let's jump into this offseason, starting with the awards. Since we were knocked out, Mendoza did make a Pro Bowl. So did Genty. They both were number one at their positions. Of course, Colton Miller, he's been a perennial Pro Bowler for us. We also had Moton, who was picked up for a one-year deal to play right tackle. Max Crosby, another perennial Pro Bowler for us, of course. Leo Chanel has been great since we signed him in the first offseason. Brandon Jones, free safety, also plays slot for us sometimes at corner. Josh Allen won the MVP over Jackson Dart. We got the Coach of the Year jinx with Kubiak winning it for second year in a row. Offensive Players of the Years. Genty just missed out number 3 over a bunch of Bills. So Bills doing pretty good. As far as the stats go, TJ Watt, Defensive Player of the Year, of course. The Bengals are really good, and they're in all these awards as well. As you can see, the Defensive Rookie and Offensive Rookie of the Year. Our defensive tackle just missed out for Rookie of the Year. Mendoza was QB3. Genty was running back number 1. We've been focusing on our run game and defense. Shakir, Higgins, all having great seasons. Barry Brown was our slot player, but we did get Jaden Roberts, our first offensive guard taken in the first draft. He did win Offensive Lineman of the Year. Howard Perkins is having a tremendous rebuild for the Patriots, and that's about it. But our right guard went up to superstar, as you can see, with winning Offensive Lineman of the Year. And to wrap up the 2028 season, the Tennessee Titans won the Super Bowl over the Green Bay Packers 35-28. Jeffrey Simmons was the Super Bowl MVP. The Titans made it 2 years ago, and they make it back this year, this time to win the Super Bowl. So they've had a great rebuild. It's phenomenal. They're in their own playbooks. And then we had one retirement going into the resigning period. So let's talk about the resigning period. Mendoza, we are going to accept the option on. I guess in real life, you'd probably try to get ahead of that and deny that and give him a new contract. And then we are going to bring back Chop Robinson, 26, 81 overall star player. Hard to find really good defensive linemen, including edge rushers in the draft, unless you have a high draft pick. We do not. We're not going to bring back Penix. Dante Thornton never got in scheme for us. Brandon Jones, he still got his speed and acceleration. He was really good for us, but I just don't want to give him a 2-3 year deal. So we'll see what happens in free agency. See if we can bring him back. Boye Mafe, we're letting walk. He never really did anything. Of course, we want to bring back Colton Miller if we can. He's a staple here. We'll go 1 year. He'll take it. Phenomenal. Love bringing you back. Some really good backups. We'll let Wyatt go. He's older. He's closer to 30. We want to bring back Amari Harvey. Zone corners is something we don't really have. Patrick Payton, real expensive in my opinion. Depth piece, but we're kind of building this guy, so we'll give him another 1 year deal. Michael Mayer, I think I want to bring him back, along with Bellinger. Isaiah Rodgers, let him walk. Caleb Rogers, probably let him walk. Moton, 35, 80 overall. I'm good. A couple guys regress here. I think it's finally time to say goodbye to Colton McKivitz. So let's go here and try to see if we can bring back Jones. You think Jones will take a 1-year deal? Let's see. We'll see. Let's see what he takes. 1 year. Bump it up. 10 million for the year. 1 year. Nah. Psych. Not gonna do it. All right, Amari Harvey time. We're building this guy up. Give him a 1-year deal, 4 million, and fuck you. All right, well, let's get to free agency. So in round 1 of free agency, we brought in Brian Burns on a big 1-year deal. We brought in left tackle Kelvin Banks Jr. We're going to move him to right tackle for now. Jade Barron, he's coming in on a multi-year deal, and Dane Belton to be a backup safety. We also brought back Brandon Jones. Nobody wanted him, so we'll probably have to play him at slot again. Jack Kelly comes as a backup will linebacker. Another depth piece at offensive line, Purcell. So here's all of what we brought in. A lot of great players. That Brian Burns one is huge. I mean, the CPU, Madden just not trying to sign 1-year deals with guys. So not a lot of people, but that Brian Burns is finally a big domino that we got to fall here for us in free agency. So it's draft time. As we approach the draft, to show you the picks we have our own picks, no picks from anybody else that we had stockpiled, and we are missing our first. If you remember, in our last draft, we traded our first in 2028 and our 2029 first round picks to trade up and draft a pretty high overall hidden development. I don't even think it was hidden development. Speed rushing defensive tackle. Those are very hard to find, especially in scheme. So it was our first Madden draft that we had, and there weren't many in the first 2 drafts, which were realistic drafts. So let's jump into this draft. We're going to kind of fly through this one since we don't have a lot of picks. And yeah, we got to get this season going. So here we are in the second round, and we're looking for just depth. There wasn't really anybody else. There was no corners that we needed, so we're going to take free safety Cam Vanover, zone safety. You know, we like these guys. You can play them all over the place. You can play them at backup safety and slot. So he's got 91 speed. Don't like the acceleration and no hidden development. That sucks, but he does have a injury. And then jumping to the 3rd round, Robbie Walsh, looking pretty good. A nose tackle, got decent speed. So we're going to pick him maybe. Nope. So, yeah, that's right. I was looking at Robbie Walsh, but Keelan Windsor, way faster. Round 2 to 3 talent. And that sounds pretty good. When you get the claps at the 3rd round, this guy's probably, pretty darn good. Coach is excited. Clint Kubiak, look at me. Pretty good. I got an eye for talent. Going all that's not training day. The recruit. That's the recruit. Scary judge of talent. Well, Keelan Windsor comes in with a hidden development, 81 speed, 83 acceleration, 86 strength, defensive tackle. D injury, that's terrible. But anyway, we're jumping towards the 5th round. Wet fart in the 4th round. Looking at what we have available, a lot of undrafted guys that were looking pretty good. I kind of like Nick Lay here. But he's just like someone we drafted. So I'm going to skip over him. And there's an offensive lineman here. You find these in these Madden drafts that are undrafted free agents. And this Mitchell Herbert gives us offensive line depth. Can move him all over the line. He's 6'4", hidden development. And that's about it. Everything else we'll kind of go over here. We had 3 hits and 3 shitty picks. So the one thing is, Windsor, hidden development. How fast can we get him up? The speed. And then Mitchell Herbert, again, he'll be starting right away. And I think we have to start him no matter what alongside Grant, because Jaden Roberts, our draft pick from the first year, which was another find, he's out for a while. And then just looking at the top players in this draft. Wow, an 82 overall left guard at third in the third round, 29 overall. How did I miss that? There was a lot of tight ends in this draft. I thought about taking them, just didn't need them. I had to go after what I needed. So, yeah, this Guerrero guy was on my list. Looking at the top overalls of each round here. Again, a lot of tight ends, even in the third round. I mean, there were so many there. Robbie Walsh, thought about taking him, didn't. Some corner depth, 71 overall, 70 in the fourth round. All the corners, unfortunately, were mostly man-to-man, and we need zone corners. I mean, we could draft anyone we want, but it just takes a while to build them up. Will Davis, a slot corner. Yeah, it was man-to-man and slot. And slot's probably closer to being zone. Nick Lay, we wanted to take him, didn't take him. And then in the seventh round, 73 overall left guard. And a 72 overall corner. Wow, man, that would have helped. And then a move that happened in free agency, we traded Ronnie Hickman to the Cowboys for a fourth. We had too much depth. So we're an 88 overall team, 91 on offense, 85 on defense. Our schemes are both at 95%. We have to stay in West Coast zone run, 3-4 storm, but we are changing our offense to the Green Bay Packers. It's in the coaching tree. And then as far as starters go, we have Mendoza. He's a superstar. Genty, he's an X factor. Fullback Dylan Wade, he's 74 overall. Wide receivers Nick Marsh, he's a star. Omar Cooper Jr. is an 83. Slot and third wide receiver is Barian Brown. He's a star. We picked up Rashid Shaheed in free agency after the draft. Brock Bowers is a superstar. Colton Miller, 90 overall star. Left guard, Mitchell Herbert. He's a hidden development rookie at left guard. Center is JPJ. He's a star. Jaden Roberts is a starter. He's a superstar, 80 overall, but he is out for 3 to 7 weeks. Right tackle, Calvin Banks Jr. is our right tackle for right now. Then you have Max Crosby, superstar. Brian Burns is a superstar, 88 overall. Then you have the defensive tackles. Max Canady, he's a star. Aaron Graves, who we traded for last offseason. Windsor, 75 overall, hidden development defensive tackle. Sam, linebacker. Chanel, X Factor. Mike is Anthony Hill Jr., superstar. Star, Will linebacker. Overshawn, 79 overall. Corner, we're kind of hurting. We have Dakario Davis, who's a star. Picked up Jade Barron, 80 overall. He's a star. Free safety, Brandon Jones, 83 superstar. He is also our slot corner. Backed up by Trey Medical, superstar, safety, 80 overall. And then strong safety, Earl Little Jr., 80 overall. Dane Belton, 80. And another depth piece here, Cam Van Over, 75 overall rookie. And then you can see all the depth pieces here and the subline backer packages and corners and all that shit. So there we go. We got a bomb squad, and it's time to get into this season. And as we always do, we simulate together. I'm doing double field general, workhorse, and move the chains as we always do. And no play sheets whatsoever. And in the first game against the Chargers, unlike the last 3 seasons, the first 3 seasons, we take a loss. That's unfortunate. So 0-1 in a new playbook. I thought would be a better playbook. Our defense is not looking good. Gave up 33 points to the Chargers. Damn, 4 touchdowns for Herbert. Mendoza, 224 yards, 2 touchdowns and interceptions. Genty did have 107 yards. Receiving, Nick Marsh, 7 for 62 and a touchdown. Rashid Shaheed got in there somehow. Barian Brown, 3 for 38. That's not a good sign because slot's supposed to be good, and Barian Brown's only getting 3 catches. Sack-wise, 1 for Crosby, and no interceptions. So we got some work to do, and we'll have to do it. We'll have to move some pieces around and change up the slot positions. Let's jump to the midseason. So midway point here, 5-3, up to an 89 overall team from an 88. Offense looking great. Defense not so much, but we are passing more. And then when you look through the season here, week 1 we took the loss, as you know. Week 2 we put in Elmore Cooper Jr. in the slot, took a W, got the revenge game in week 3 against the Chargers. Week 4 we took a loss. So week 5 we put Nick Marsh in the slot, and Mendoza got Player of the Week. He had a breakout in week 6, did not get it, but our superstar right guard came back, Jaden Roberts. Week 7 we took on the 5-0 Titans. We took off double workhorse, and we lost, but we revealed that Mitchell Herbert was a star left guard. Week 8 we put on double people movers and took a 37-1 win, and that's where we are at right now. So now let's look at the stats here midway through the season. 1 yard away from 2,000 for Mendoza, 20 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 70% completion percentage, almost 250 yards a game, a QB rating of 115.8, 8.0 YPA. Genty, he's looking great. Over 91 yards a game, 730 yards so far on the season, 5 yards in average, 5 touchdowns. The backup running back really doesn't get play in this playbook. Omar Cooper Jr., 588 yards, 9 touchdowns. Nick Marsh, 42 for 455 and 4. Barry Brown, 33 catches for 406 and a touchdown. And Brock Bowers has 25 catches for 231 and 2. This playbook really doesn't feature the tight end either. It's more about the 3 wide receivers. Anthony Hill Jr. still our leader in tackles, along with our free safety and slot corner Brandon Jones. Tackles for loss, Kennedy, Crosby, Burns, all up there. Sacks really high for Max Crosby, has 9, 7.5 for Brian Burns. What an addition. And then Graves has 4. And again, we are really low on the interceptions. Only 1 for Takario Davis and 1 for Jahdae Barron. Looking at the contracts, we got a lot here. So Genty's up, and we're going to give him the money, of course. No way we're messing around with that. So bump this down to 13, bump it up here to 15 a year, the big signing bonus. But, these running backs, they want their guarantee money, and he's going to take it. He's a cornerstone to this franchise and this offense. Anthony Hill Jr., the quarterback of our defense, he's been amazing. He wants way more money, but hey, look, we're going to keep him here for a long time. 7-year deal. Hell yeah. This is a very important position. So we're going to draft. We're going to re-sign him. Jaden Roberts is now up. This whole draft class is up, except for Mendoza, who was the first pick. So luckily we had the option on him, because if we had to pay him right now, I'm not sure how much we'd be able to bring back all these guys. So Jaden Roberts, going to keep him to a smaller deal, although I would probably want to keep him the entire time, but we have to be conscious. Barry and Brown, probably going to let him go. We can't afford all these wide receivers. I'm going to circle back to Max Crosby, but we got to be conscious too that we have to resign our star quarterback next year, especially if we don't win a Super Bowl. What the fuck are we going to do? But right now we need him. Takario Davis for sure. Just not a lot of zone corners. A lot of teams either don't have these guys available. They've been hard to find. We've been focusing in other areas. This is an offensive coach, so we just haven't been prioritizing defense as much. We're still prioritizing defense, but it's been really hard to find corners. They've been going high. Haven't found any sleepers. But we are going to bring back Takario Davis. Definitely can't bring back Brian Burns, Braden Swinson. I think this is the end of the line for Brandon Jones. Omar Cooper Jr. Yeah, we want to keep the Indiana boys here for sure. So bump this all up to nice even 5s and give him a 5-year deal. So lots of 5s here. Good to see that he wants to stay here. All the backup running backs are going to have to go, but it is what it is. We did scout running backs in this upcoming draft. Rashid Shaheed, he's gone. Aaron Graves, definitely want to bring this guy back. I mean, it's a good thing we kind of backed ourselves up with drafting another lineman that was in scheme, but he's, after we traded for this guy a couple years ago, we can't bring him back. It's all right. The corners I probably might want to bring back for sure. Charles Grant, he's just a staple here. No matter what, he can be a starter or a swing tackle. He could even probably play a little bit of not just tackle but guard, center. You can move him all over the place. He's a nice move piece here. So many guys to bring back. And we're running out of money. Who else we got? Colt Miller, he's finally gone, but we took a chance and brought in Banks Jr. So he'll be moved back to left tackle. And with that, we'll bring back another depth piece here, someone we can move around. We're building him, Purcell. Bring him on a 1-year deal. This is riveting shit right now, isn't it? Hey, but this is what you gotta do. You gotta have some depth. Of course, the most important re-signing of this season is this expensive ass long snapper. Whatever, man. Whatever. We're winning. We're winning. It's all about winning. And then we're cycling back to Max Crosby. Yeah. Please take it. Please. 2 years. 2-year bag. He's happy to stay. Probably just should have gave him like a 5-year deal. Finish your career, Max, but you got to be conscious. All right, so I believe that's all we're going to do. A lot of players leaving. We're going to have a lot of turnover, so hopefully this is the year that we knock it out because we got Marsh to think about too. And then we did it again. Another 10,000 XP coaching points. 14-3. The offense was great. Just defense, okay. I mean, we're passing more, so we'll take it. Number 1 seed in the playoffs again. And then look through this schedule. They weren't anything of note except for we haven't lost since that loss to the Titans. Some huge games. Mendoza won Player of the Week in Week 12, and then he just won it with a 45-16 win over the Jets again. So looking at the QB or the Players of the Weeks, Mendoza, Week 5, he was also a Player of the Week. We had a bunch of other ones. Decario Davis in week number 6, defensive player. And then as we go through, I think week 12, yes, Mendoza. And then Jahdae Barron, that's right, week 14, he had 2 interceptions. And then to finish out the season, we had week 18, Mendoza. And then looking at the season stats, 4,200 yards passing, 41 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 70% completion percentage, 247.8 yards a game, QB rating over 100 and something. I can't really read that. 8.4 YPA. Genty, 300 plus carries for 1,630 yards, 5.4 a carry, 18 touchdowns, over 95 yards a game, 55 broken tackles. Nick Marsh, well, he had over 1,200 yards, 13 touchdowns. Omar Cooper Jr. had over 1,100 yards and 15 touchdowns. Barian Brown, almost 800 yards and 4 touchdowns. Brock Bowers, probably his best season since being here, 58 catches for 517 yards and 3 touchdowns. Anthony Hill Jr., again, our leading tackler with 145, 3 tackles for loss, 3 sacks. Tackles for loss, Canady, Crosby, Burns. Sacks, 13 for Crosby, 12 for Brian Burns, 4.5 for Canady, and Graves. Would hope for more sacks, but we did get 5 interceptions for Jahdae Barron. You want the play defender for sure on your corners. Decario Davis, I put that on him, and then he got an instant interception. So there's the stats for you, man. And then watch this. We have the Titans in this playoffs. They've been a bugaboo, but they're going to go down in an upset 6-3. The Jaguars beat them 24-20, and we're going to be taking them on. What an upset, and that could be really good for our path here. A 9-8 Jaguars team, pretty much have all the same players. Looking pretty good on defense, but we have the strength here on offense. So like we always do, we're going to simulate this together. I'm going to show you that I'm not doing any play sheets, and the coaching abilities I'm doing are double field general, double move the chains, and then I'm doing double people movers since Genty is so high overall. We don't need double workhorse. I'm going to remove all these. I've been doing this all season. I'm kind of team, you don't need play sheets and they can mess things up. And also having the unneeded staff abilities can mess things up too. So these are the players we've been building. We only focus on offensive play sheets, abilities, and players in training camp and everything because this is an offensive coach. So we're going to do some quick upgrades here. Um, this could be the year. Jahdae Barron, what a great signing for us. 5 interceptions, huge signing. Only an 80 overall, but with morale boost, he's up to an 86. Mitchell Herbert, what a great pickup. He's over 80 already, and with the abilities boost, he's up to a 91 overall, really helping that run game. That really, I think, is what sprung Genty to have a great rushing season. And that's about it. Soto might be a right tackle for us next year. We'll have to see. So 9-8 versus 14-3. You know, these kind of are a little sketchy because of the record. Sometimes these 9-8, 8-9 teams get wins, but you saw that in the first round, and we're gonna get the win. We're going back to the AFC Championship game for the 3rd year. Let's take a look at this one. 45-21. Damn. Let's go. Mendoza, 382 yards, 3 passing touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 5 sacks. Genty, 15 carries for 136 yards, 9.1 yard a carry, 2 touchdowns. Reed had a touchdown. Marsh, 8 for 172 and a touchdown. Omar Cooper Jr., 6 for 86, 5 for 63 for Brown. Anthony Hill Jr., leading tackler. Crosby and Overshawn had sacks. And then Anthony Hill Jr. and Brandon Jones both had interceptions. Let's cycle back right here to Mendoza. So, heck of a game for Mendoza. Taking on the Jets. Oh boy, they took down the Ravens. And we're going to take on the 9-8 Jets. Genty got player of the week. And you love to see it. Let's take a look at this Jets team. Julian Sayin, real nice season for them. Breece Hall, only 1,300 yards, 9 touchdowns. But Garrett Wilson Jr., Jeremiah Smith, and they also have Jordan Tyson. So they have a great receiving core. Their tight end is Jamari Johnson. Not really sure who that is. Defensively, Sherwood was their leading tackler. Only 11 sacks for Ed Oliver. They picked up Nolan Smith Jr., drafted Reuben Bain Jr. Not great on interceptions either, but that's pretty wild. They got a real nice offense. Wow. 9-8, 89 overall team, 91 on offense, 85 on defense. Rankings are pretty good. They're pretty much just really good at passing. Yeah, hey, pretty good. And just like we always do, we're gonna do this real quick and simulate together. Well, it's time for the moment we've all been waiting for to see if we can finally break through and get to the Super Bowl. 9-8 versus 14-3. And it's happened. It's finally happened. This could be the season. This could be the moment. A lot of work, a lot of building. 24-16 over the Jets. I would think we would have laid one on the Jets offensively, but Mendoza only needed to throw 179 yards, 2 touchdowns. He took no sacks. Genty had 1 yard away from 100 and a touchdown. Nick Marsh, 4 for 67 and a touchdown. Cooper Jr., 5 for 58, and a bunch of players chipping in here and there. Anthony Hill Jr., of course, leading the team in tackles. Max Crosby has a sack. Jack Kelly out of nowhere with a sack. That's crazy. And no interceptions. So we're taking on the Giants. We get revenge game for Brian Burns. It would have been more fitting had the Seahawks won since, the coach came from there. But nice. Mendoza, Kelly, players of the week. We're going to the Super Bowl. Let's go. And then before we jump into this matchup, let's take a look at the yearly awards. Giants are looking really good. They look like an almost carbon copy of us. So yearly awards. Actually, you know what? Let's look at this Giants team first. All right, so they have Jackson Dart. He had over 4,200 yards passing, 39 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Scattaboo, even better than Genty, 21 touchdowns, over 1,600 yards. Neighbors had over 1,200 yards and 10 touchdowns. Wan'Dale Robinson over 1,100 yards and 13 touchdowns. Pendleton, the tight end, had 75 for 741 and 7. Defensively, Fred Johnson, don't know who that is. He has 140 tackles. Abdul Carter Jr. has 16 and a half. Dexter Lawrence has 11. Josiah Stewart has 9.5. So they've got a lot of sacks, not too many interceptions. Jeremy Chin revenge game. Uh-oh. But we have a huge revenge game for someone they're very, very familiar with. Later in his career, coming here looking for a ring. Brian Burns with his 12 sacks. Looking for revenge. The revenge dagger. All right, so these teams are very similar in my opinion. Let's look at the awards. Both teams 14-3. He won MVP almost in his first year, and Ty Simpson gets MVP this year. Brian Daboll, they got the coaching jinx. They got the coach of the year jinx, just beating out Clint Kubiak. Let's go. Ashton Jeanty, offensive player of the year for the AFC, followed by Jamar Chase. Dejo, he won defensive player of the year. Chargers had offensive rookie of the year. Kendall Johnson, defensive rookie of the year for the Colts. Mendoza, best QB. Best running back, of course. Jeanty over Julian Love. Shakir was the best wide receiver. That's a little crazy. As you see, Omar Cooper Jr. and Nick Marsh in the top 5. Anthony Towns, best O lineman, beats out the rookie Mitchell Herbert. That would have been crazy. Dejo, best defensive lineman. Harold Perkins, absolutely killing this rebuild. He's the best linebacker in that Patriots defense. Jordan Battle, best DB. And you see Jahdae Barron in the top 5. Harrison Butker on the Jets is the best kicker. All right, so let's do some training and get this one going. As you can see how the Giants got here, number 1 seed as well. All right, party people, my Madden Rebo Warriors, it's time that we've all been waiting for. We've made it to the Super Bowl. All the drafting, signing, re-signing, cutting, training, it's all paid off here for this moment in year number 4, the 2029 season, season 4. 3 14-3 seasons, 3 number 1 overall seeds, and we finally made it. 3 is the charm. 3 is the magic number, and here we are against the Giants, who are almost a carbon copy of our team as far as record and stats. And we get the ball first here, 12-27, no score, 3rd and 3. I'm going to skip this moment. We're skipping through the moments here. This is how we do it. And we take the first points of the game, going up 7-0. Driving again, go up 14-0. 21-0. Into the second quarter, 21-7. 24-7 into the third quarter, driving down, and it's going to go to 31-7. This one is getting out of hand into the fourth quarter, 34-7. Man, Giants are shut out in the second half still, 37-7. Now it's 14-37, and that's going to be all she wrote. The Raiders are finally Super Bowl champions. We did it.
For anyone who steps foot onto the gridiron as kids, champions now, every one of them.
And it is something, Kate, they can never, ever have taken from them. I think you and I have come across many Super Bowl champions in both this game and champs in other sports, right?
Yeah,
and you hear the same message. This is something that was so hard to achieve, and it's something that nobody, not time, will ever take from them. What a moment.
Here's Commissioner Roger Goodell presenting the Lombardi Trophy to the Las Vegas Raiders, champions of Super Bowl 64.
All right, 37-14. We get it done. Maybe that coaching of the year really is a jinx. But let's look at this box score and see if we can figure out who's going to be the Super Bowl MVP. Definitely not going to be Mendoza. He doesn't even go over 200 yards passing. He has a passing touchdown. Could be Jeanty, over 100 yards on the ground, 7.7 average, 2 rushing touchdown. Nick Marsh, 7 for almost 100 yards and a touchdown. I don't think he's going to get it. No one else called a touchdown. Now, Jahdae Barron could be it. 15 tackles and a sack, followed by Brian Burns with a sack, revenge sack, Max Crosby with a sack, Windsor with a sack, Chop Robinson with a sack, and then a half a sack for Graves and Vanover. But Tacario Davis, 2 interceptions, that could get it. So it's going to be between Genti and Tacario Davis. So I think we need to advance so we can get this recap here. Yeah, I think, we put later on in the season, we put Tacario Davis with play defender instead of play ball. And it looks like it paid off in the Super Bowl, getting 2 interceptions. He's 6'4". Big. You need a big corner there to play against Neighbors, who's what, 6'2", 6'3". So let's look at the season recap here. And Tacario Davis, he is the Super Bowl MVP. The Vegas Raiders are 4-time Super Bowl champions. Tell me what you think. Please like and subscribe. That is it. On to the next rebuild. Or do we run it back one more season? Let me know. Thanks again for watching. Peace.